Hey guys, welcome to Kiss and Tell Tuesdays. This week I have the amazing Chef Eryne with me. If you listened to last Friday's episode, we spoke about meal planning, about repurposing your content or your purpose during quarantine, and also why how people eat is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey boo, how are you?
Hey, I am awesome. Thank you so much for having me back. I'm loving this whole little mini episode that you got going on. That's super dope.
You know what it is? I wanted to get to know my guests and get their perspective on things that didn't necessarily have to do with food, because I feel like, that's my podcast and what it's about and all of that. But there's more to me than just like, do I look fat?
Absolutely.
So I just wanted to.
We got layers, girl.
Layers, okay?
Yes.
So for today's episode, I wanted to talk about how sometimes adulting means losing friends. And it can be.
You better talk about it.
It can mean so many different things. Like sometimes it doesn't even have to be beef, but sometimes you just outgrow the relationships that you've been in, right? And
absolutely.
That's definitely happened to me. I'm 35 years old and I have had so many girlfriends throughout my life. Like I've been in part of like groups and social circles and all of this. And I feel like this year it really showed me who was really like my friend and who was just like an acquaintance. Right? Yep. And it kind of put it blatantly out there for me. And again, I have no hate in my blood for anybody. If you're listening to this, I appreciate you. But we've just fallen off, right? Yep. And I just wanted to pick your brain about how when you have to choose between like real life and your friends.
Oh, it's hard. I'm 31, and so I feel like I have gotten to a point where my circle is small enough that I've been friends with you for years. Even some that I've recently met and we're cool and we've had a good vibe and all of that. So I feel like I've been able to control it a little bit more, eliminate the people who were just like here for a season, and just to have those real friends. And then when something kind of changes, you're like, oh, wait, hold on, time out.
Right.
I thought we was friends, not just acquaintances or, like we kick it when we're trying to go out, but I can call you when I'm just having a hard day, like when I just want to cry my eyes out, all that kind of stuff. The real deal type stuff that's what builds friendships, and so it's a lot when you have to transition into not being a friend with somebody.
Yeah.
You feel like a piece of yourself is kind of gone because you're just like, dang, like I gave all of I gave all of myself to you in like a friendship, like I was rocking with you, we went through our shit, we grew, we've had so many accomplishments in between that. We've had so much fun. And then for you to just not be a part of my life, it's kind of just like, wow, like, that puts a damper on just how you view people coming into your life like after that. But it's also one of those things that it's a necessary evil. Where you have people that are legit here for a season.
Right. And it doesn't take away from what they were for you when y'all were rocking hard. I had this one friend who like, we were like up and down together every day, spoke on the phone for hours, like knew everything about everything that had to do with one another. And one day it's just like, it kind of switched. And I don't know what exactly caused the switch, but something changed. And even now, like our situation is a little bit different. Like we did kind of like we didn't go for blows, but like it was ugly at one point. But yet and still, if anybody was to say something to me about her, I'd be like, listen, I don't want to talk about it, just because I'm not going to talk ill of her, because she was there for me when I needed her at that point. You know what I'm saying? So, I think adulting and when it comes to like friendships, is realizing that, like you said, some people are just there for you for the season, and that's okay. And accepting it and moving on, because you're not the same person you were 4 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And a part of that adulting is being okay with it. You know, like a lot of the times, you know, we're just not okay with it. You know, we always feel away in the back of our minds, but it really honestly just comes down to like time and healing.
Right.
You know, however you guys fell out, or if it was just kind of like a mutual thing and it just kind of happened, you still have to kind of like grieve that thing. And that's the thing, like, friendships, like when you're no longer friends with somebody, you have to like grieve them. Like, it's real. And I never really understood that until, you know, I lost somebody as a friend that was like really, really, really close to me. And I'm just like, wow, like, oh my goodness, like I have to really process this, because, you know, it's a lot and it's not what I was expecting. And here I am having to deal with that, you know, and then just letting time kind of just, you know, mend those wounds a little bit so that you can move on and you don't feel ill will, because you get to a point where you're like feeling away and you're like, man, fuck this shit. Like, you know, like that was whack. Whatever happened, you know, it shouldn't have gone down like that. But then, you know, once time just kind of comes in between it, then you feel okay. And you can kind of just be like, you know what? That was my girl. That was my dude. You know, like we had an amazing ride while it lasted. And then just kind of like, move on.
Yeah. I mean, it's a relationship at the end of the day. So just like how you would grieve any, you know, romantic relationship that may have lost, you have to do that with your friends too. And I feel like, if I ever loved you as a friend, I won't ever not love you. I just don't fuck with you right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I just need to, the way your vibration don't match with my vibration. And that's not to say that I'm putting you down, but it's just, we're just not clicking at the moment. And, you know, maybe one day we'll click again. Maybe one day we won't. But I just have to accept the fact that I had to get over it, and I had to, you know, really sit down and grieve the loss in the relationship. And that's very important. Very, very important.
So important, because people just want to like skip steps. And like you said, it's a relationship at the end of the day. So when you're really close with somebody, when you're like, that's like your ride or die, like y'all homies, you know, you really have to allow yourself to go through the emotions that you're going through, whether it's from anger to sadness and everything in between, in order to be on the other side, you know, and not feel jilted when you're meeting new people, you know, when you're trying to build new relationships, because you'll feel like this bitterness almost, in a sense, like, nah, like the last one did me, like I'm good. And then you have this kind of standoffish type of, you know, reaction to new relationships. And it's just like, sir, ma'am, you gotta go back a couple steps. Like you went right past that, you know, and that's why you're really giving off what you're giving off, is because you haven't grieved that person that you lost in your life that was important to you at the time. So that's been a very hard adulting lesson as well, that I didn't really think I'd have to keep going through.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? And it's funny because I've seen my mom go through it. Like, I've seen my mom lose friends like in her 50s. You know what I'm saying? So like it's never, people are constantly changing. People are constantly evolving. Yeah. So it's like you have to realize, like, even though, you know, you have friends that you've been friends with forever, that doesn't mean that you will always be the same people. Because, and it's so weird, because there's friends, for example, I have a best friend that lives in Houston. Me and her, we speak maybe once a month, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll check in on each other, but when I see her, it's like nothing ever changed. No love was lost. Right. Exactly. So there's levels to friendships, right?
Yes, it is.
And I feel like when you have a friend who's like your ride or die, who you like speak to all the time, and you guys have a falling out, like that shit hurts more than a heartbreak.
Let me tell you, because I have been going through a heartbreak. I felt like I went through a heartbreak this summer. Yeah. And it was probably the worst. It was worse than any other heartbreak that I've ever had, because I'm like, bro, like, really? Like, we're not friends anymore? Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, this is not real. And it was always something where I was like, we're gonna be rocking with each other until we fucking die.
Right.
Pretty much. We're gonna be old. Like, you know, we've planned our lives to have, you know, our kids be cousins, all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, you just like plan a future with your ride or die, with your best friend. And then when shit happens, you know, and you guys are no longer friends, and it's just like, wow, like that was a knife.
Yeah, and then
that felt like a knife a little bit.
For sure. And then it's like also looking within yourself too, because with any you know, relationship or any heartbreak, you have to really look within. Like, we're used to blaming the other person and saying, well, they did this, they did that, but what did I do to contribute to why we're no longer friends? Because everybody has to hold themselves accountable.
Absolutely.
Everybody has to hold themselves accountable. And I had to learn that, because for a long time after me and this person stopped speaking, like, I was just like, fuck that bitch, da 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 da. But then I knew I was miserable because I was keeping that shit, like that negativity, and I wasn't letting go of it and all of that. And it's like, no, I know I did some fuck shit. Like, just like you did some fuck shit, I did some fuck shit.
I did some too.
Right. You know, whether it was reactive, whether it was I was the one that did it first, regardless. Like, I have to take accountability of the fact that you're not the only reason why we're no longer speaking. Right. And that's with any relationship. You know, you have to, unless you were like abused. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Then that's a whole nother level of things.
Right.
So,
but if it's just on some like, y'all just not rocking right now, or you're just not vibing, like, you have to really look within yourself and find out the reasons why. Because then, like you said, you're just going to bring that into future relationships, future friendships. And it's like, do you want to keep on going through the cycle? Like, do you want to keep on feeling this heartbreak? Because if you're not healing yourself, if you're not really looking within, you're going to keep on repeating these cycles.
Absolutely. And it's just like, at this point, like, we just gotta break cycles. There's no reason why we gotta continue doing the same thing that our parents did, that our aunties, our uncles, even other friends have done. You know, like, we have to be the change that we need.
For sure.
You know, and it's hard. It sounds easier.
Oh, yeah.
Than it really.
I could talk this shit until the cows come home, girl. But
girl, all day.
I'll still be in my bag every now and then. Like, fuck that bitch,
bro. In my feelings, bro. Like, all day. You know, and I have my days where, even with this particular person that I'm not talking to right now, you know, I be in my bag like, man, it's some bullshit. Like, fuck that shit. Like, yo, you hurt me. Like, on some real shit, you know. But then I just be like, all right, like, you being OD right now, like, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to the meditation and, you know, speaking life and all that, and not being on some angry shit. So it's levels to it. You know, you have your good and bad days with anything.
For sure. Just, guys, try to remain positive as much as you can. And again, I'm not saying it's easy, because that shit ain't easy. Like we said, I be in my bag all the time. I'm a Cancer, so you already know. Like, I can hold a grudge.
Girl.
I can hold a grudge.
And Virgos be feeling away, like, will keep feeling away and not stop feeling away about all of it, you know, and just overthink that shit. Just it replaying in the back of your mind, like, all of it. And it's just like, come on, Virgo, so
just let it go. There's no reason to hold on to, like, the negativity and the beef, unless this person actually, like, you know, fucked up with your livelihood or your life or some wild shit, then I can understand. But even then, like, holding on to shit like that is only gonna fuck you up in the long run, because they may not even be thinking about the shit and you're here fucked up.
All of it. And that's how, like, deadass, that's how I be feeling. Like, I could really be in my bag right now, and this person is, like, just living their life, not giving two fucks about it. So, but that also makes me feel away, because it's just like, so is our friendship even important enough for you to grieve as well?
But you can't do that. It's always worse in your head, right? It's always worse in your head.
It's so crazy. Oh, my goodness.
All right, so this is a cute little conversation. Tell my followers, she is a chef, guys. She has this brunching experience, which is fire. Check her out. Where can they find you?
So on Instagram, they can find me as Chef Eryne. That's ChefEryne. And then you can also check me out on my website at cheferyn.com. And if you want to book me, you can go to the contact page and let me know what's up, what it is that you're trying to get in your life.
Yes. Make sure you book her. She is fire. Like I said, she has all of these brunch ideas. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, I don't know what you're doing because it was fire. Absolutely. She tells you all about her brand and all of that and why breakfast is like her most favorite meal of the day. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram _StephyKiss, STEPHYKISS, and the Do I Look Fat Pod. Rate, review, and subscribe. 5 stars only, please, because if you're listening this far, it's because you liked it. Like, exactly. Just give me the 5 stars. Thank you for tuning in to another episode or another installment of Kiss and Tell. This Friday, sorry guys, there will be no episode. I am going to be away on family business, but I love you. We will be back the following week as if nothing ever stopped. But thank you again for all of your love and support. I love you guys. Bye.